But yeah, just again, don't wait till you're empty. A lot of other I'm looking at from other video games or FPS first-person shooters. You typically throw out your whole mag of 30 bullets, 50 bullets, and then you're reloading. With Hunt Showdown, it's significantly different. You again, you want to stay topped up. All right. Most guns in the game are viable. However, there are guns that are, of course, meta, like the Labelle or Mosin, Uppercut, Crown and King. So find what you like. I see a lot of people asking or tier lists of the best guns in the game, and although there are very good guns in the game, such as the Mosin, the Labelle, the Crown and King shotgun, the oh man, the name escapes me, but it's the Avto, the Avto. There's the Avto. There are guns that are very, very significantly and drastically better. That's why they are priced so high in the game. But all guns are viable. I think, and I quite honestly have just picked it up, the Winfield, any variants, besides the Centennial, I'm not a big fan of the Centennial, but any Winfield variant is very, very good. Very good. You get it at level 1. It's the very first rifle, and it's the one. If it's not the Vetterli, it's the Winfield I'm using the most. It's without a shadow of a doubt. The iron sights are great. They are very, very thin for very, 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 very precise shots, but you, especially the other version, not the C version, the one with the larger mag, you can just dump ammo. You can shoot forever. The pro to this is that, let's say you have people just constantly running out. Yes, with a Berthier, you have 3 shots and it's long ammo, and you can probably drop a person in 1 shot. But you have just shot 3 shots, and let's say you didn't hit a single person running, like they're running to extract. You have to sit there and you reload. Again, the Berthier has a fast reload, but you have a Sparks. You shoot somebody, it drops them to 1 HP. With the Winfield, you can just continue. Like you're just sitting here, just shooting, putting shots down. Hopefully, hitting them while they're moving. Your teammates doing whatever they need to do. If you're a solo player, sorry, this doesn't apply to you. I don't play solo, so. Yeah, same with the Vetterli. All of the Vetterli is bolts. It's very quick in my opinion. But yes, again, all guns are viable. Some that this is gonna sound like really dumb because I just said that all guns are viable. I would stay away from the Lamat for right now. For some weird reason, ever since the game's inception, since the Lamats had come out, it's been a very off gun. Either something's buggy on it, or it just doesn't do quite as much as you would like it to do. Something about it. I mean, can it be used? Of course, but should you use it? I mean, that's up to you. I would always say no. I would say absolutely not. But yeah, again, nothing I would really stay away from. But yeah, just remember, all guns are viable. Pick the one you like the most. Does it have good? Does the damage do good for you? Is it medium ammo or compact or long rifle ammo? Is it, do the iron sights look good to you? Just pick ones that you like. You can shoot through walls with FMJ and medium and long ammo, so do not hesitate to take the shot if you hear someone or see someone clipping. A lot of, I see a lot of people, let's say they're waiting for you by a door. Let's say it's like this doorway up here, right? Let me get on up to it. So in Hunt, you will see people clipping through doors. So you will get a lot of people either clipping because they're trying to peek a window. You will see their barrel of their gun sticking through, or you will see like a coat or something just hanging through. That's why a lot of people do not play the legendary skin. I'm just going to call him Scrooge. But that's one big reason as to why a lot of people don't play him. A lot of people don't play Mountain Man because the bear head pokes up and you could see it through places you don't want to see it, or as the Mountain Man, you don't want people to see you. There are those types of things give hunters away a lot, especially the black coat. His coat hangs through things a lot. So yeah, do not hesitate to take the shot. If you're peeking this crack here and you see someone coming through that doorway, do not hesitate with FMJ, medium, or long ammo to take the shot, because more than likely, you know, if your accuracy's on point, you've got the hit or even possibly a kill. I started playing with the Scott Field when those were out, and I will say, as you can see, the spider just, you know, even the spider right there. I'll give you actually a prime example if we can catch the spider again. But my brother had pushed through a doorway, and I was on the outside, he was on the inside coming through a hallway, and he started getting shot at. Someone was fanning him. I told him to duck. He ducked. I took a random shot through the wall and killed the guy. You can just do something. You can just try it. The only thing that sucks would be is if you're trying to be quiet, they now know where you're at, but honestly, I mean, it doesn't really matter. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter if someone hears you. Again, I'm going to see if I can get the spider, because this will work with the spider too. I just got to find out where it's at. I think it's on the back side. I'm not wearing my headphones, so I don't know. But I'm sure everybody has seen it. You've pushed to a compound and you've seen the spider legs poking out. You've seen the assassin's beetles, stuff like that. Anyways, I'll come back to that. Oh, right there. Whoops, did not have my hand on the mouse. Next is to balance your build. Long rifle, for example, a long rifle with a fanning pistol or a fast pistol such as the New Army or the Officer, or a shotgun with a long-range pistol like the Conversion Packs, or you can use Quartermaster. So this is more so for newer players. I typically never shoot for Quartermaster. It is not in my interest. I feel very, very safe with pistols. If not, I use them more than my primary, to be honest. Unless it's the if I'm not using the Vetterli or the Winfield, I'm typically not rushing, but I'm going into a compound with a pistol because I'm very confident in it. But again, balance your weapon build. You see here that I'm using the Vetterli. But the thing with the Vetterli is it does shoot decently quick. Now, what is the drawbacks of the Vetterli? Well, definitely the rate as to what the bullet comes out, the velocity. But if you're in a gunfight, you're shooting here, and then let's say someone wraps this set of trees, and you're out in the open here, and you're gunfighting this, and you had no idea. So that guy hits you once with a Romero, and it doesn't kill you. Let's say it brings you down to 50, and instead of your impulse being to heal, your impulse is to fight back. So you swing out, you shoot. Let's say you miss. You swap to your pistol, but now you're using a chain pistol. And look at. And right here, it seems stupid. It seems very, very dumb that I'm telling you that, because you're sitting here and you're like, wow, that's very quick reload. But it's really not. In the heat of the moment, when you're trying to fight that, he's already coming back out on you. We're gonna have to reset this, but he's already coming back out on you. So typically, I would either say run the New Army, run the New Army. Okay, run the New Army. Run the Officer. I'm not the biggest fan of the Officer. or the Scotfield Spitfire. Those guns are very, very nice to use with rifles, you know, to use with your Mosin, to use with your Vetterli, to use with your Winfield, Labelle. Again, it's just nice to use with. It's nice to use with your rifles. Now, when I look at pistols like the chain pistol, the packs, the any conversion, uppercuts, not necessarily. I guess you could run the Sparks pistol, but don't do it with a Romero. You're not going to have a good time, especially if you get into a compound, you miss a shot, and you have to rely on your pistol. You're not gonna have a good time. So I would again, you could see where I'm going with this. Have like a pocket machine gun. So you pull out your Romero, you shoot the Romero, you hit the shot, and then you want to follow up very, very fast. Or sorry, I'm thinking rifle. You shoot with the Romero, and you want to follow up very fast with a hard hitting single shot, like the packs or the conversion or the uppercut. You know, you hit them once, you switch to it, you hit them, you kill them. This also works though for very long range. So if you're pushing a compound and someone's on the outside of the compound, like maybe you're third teaming or something, and you can't quite cover that distance quick enough, you have your conversion, your packs, or your uppercut, or your Sparks pistol. Helps out very, very nicely. Or you can also take fanning with it too, and it'll also help you in the situations of like up close quarters, if you miss like a Romero shot or something. So yeah, with long rifle, run a fanning pistol. That way you have a close quarters type of situation. Again, new army. Let's say again you're Vetterli, you shoot here, and then you want to follow up. You know, keep applying the pressure with like the new army. That's my go-to. That's why I keep using it. But yeah, next one is to pick your fight. In the very beginning of rounds, what I asked my brothers is, what do we want to do? Do we want to go for the bounty, or do we want to go for the players? Typically, we go for the players, just because we've gotten very, very sick of going for the bounty and being the first ones there, and then fighting, 2 to 3 other teams to get out, or just kind of spawning right in front of it, and taking the time to kill the boss. So I'm just going to give you my examples to what we do, and you can choose what you want to do from there. So you can either be the first to the bounty and fight all other teams, or let the bounty be found and fight to get in and possibly fight against one other team. There's that, or if that's like, let's say like a solo contract. But if it's like a duos contract or a dual contract, typically we just go for the bounties, and then we find ourselves if it hasn't been found yet, we find ourselves at the compound, and then we wait it out. We see if there's going to be a team that comes up later, or we will let them kill the boss, and then we try to kill them and then get the boss, stuff like that. So yeah, definitely you don't need to, you essentially don't need to be the first one always. You don't even need to be like the second one always, but choose what you want to do. Although the objective of the game as the game itself and as the whole of the game itself is to get clues, find the boss, and extract, you don't need to play it that way. You can always come in, decide you want to go PvP, and strictly do PvP. You don't need to go find the bounties or anything. I've never really gone into a match though, in the sense of going in there strictly for PvP, and the bounties are still up or something, and I just leave. We've never ever done that. We always get the bounties afterwards, but we prioritize PvP over PvE. So yeah, just find out what you want to do. So pick your fight. Next one. Always remember that you do not have to fight. If you feel as though you are on the back foot, you can back off. Me and my brothers struggle with this one a lot because, again, let's say that let's just say we're fighting a compound, and we're continuing fighting. We're getting low on ammunition. We're getting low on supplies. We're just sitting here back and forth, just trading shots, but we're not really killing each other. Or maybe one of us did die, and they have the upper hand, and one of us died in the compound. One, they're probably gonna throw a lantern on him, more than likely. But let's say he died out in the open, like right out here, because typically there's woods here. But let's just say he dies here, and we cannot get out here and heal him because they will kill us. It is okay, totally okay. And you have to remember this, that you do not need to continue the fight. You can just back on out. The thing is, the greatest thing about Hunt is that anything can happen. You hear the saying "Hunt giveth and Hunt taketh," and that is quite a real thing. Anything can happen to those guys in there. Maybe they all get destroyed by the boss. Maybe they all just get killed, and you hear one after another. They're all dead. Then you can heal. You can come back into the fight. Maybe another team comes up. You can back out, let that team fight it off, let those supplies wear down, let those shots wear down, and then you can come back in, hopefully better supplied to take the fight. Maybe you were going through and you got into every single immolator on the map and every dog pack on the map, and you are all down 1 bar, or let's just say 2 bars, just for the sake of it. You're down 2 bars, you have 7 shots in your primary and 4 shots in your secondary. You've used up all of your healing. You have no utility. You've used up all of your bombs and your regen shots, and maybe you have 1 vitality. You don't need to fight. You really, really do not need to fight. Call it quits. Understand you're on the back foot. The odds of you making it out alive is very slim. And just live to die another day. So yeah, just remember, you do not have to fight. Crouching makes you an easier target. Not only are you a bigger target, but you move slower. Yes, so one thing is, especially when we first started playing this game, or at least when I first started playing, crouching was a very, very big thing in this game. Everyone on the server typically crouched. Everybody was kind of crouch walking everywhere because we didn't really understand. And now this is from the community at the time in a handful. I'm not speaking for every single person that's played, but I'm speaking for, let's say, about 85% of people. We typically, if we wanted to push into this compound, we were crouch walking. We did not know what to expect. We did not know if we could hear, how far we could hear other hunters, if they were way out there or if they were right next to us. We did not know the lethality of zombies and stuff. We were very scared of other hunters hearing us killing zombies. So it was a vastly slower game. It was a very, very, very slower game. But nowadays, the lethality of zombies is like slim to none. Unless you're getting piled by them and you're in a gunfight, it's slim to none. That's why they've also added specials like immolators, meatheads, husks. But crouching makes you makes you an easier target because you become a much bigger mass. So when you're standing up, you're much thinner. You're a much thinner shot. You're kind of harder to shoot. When you're crouched, your head kind of, your character's head kind of goes down into the body, so he brings up his shoulders and stuff. So it makes it to where if they're gonna shoot you in the body, they're also more than likely going to shoot you in the head. So it makes you a much, much more easier target. So sometimes it seems as though, hey, I'm very well hidden. They can't see me amongst all these trees. So I'm going to sit in here and I'm going to, I think you can get up on them. Yeah, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to crouch. And I'm just going to sit here, or let's just do it out here. I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to crouch and they can't see me. If they do see you, they've got pretty much a 100% kill on you. So I would always say stand up when fighting. Now, this is of course typically hunters right now. The skill level of hunters is vastly higher than what it used to be. Even across FPS games, people are typically nowadays aiming for the head. So yes, will you be up in headshot height? Yeah, but if you're also crouching, you're kind of almost guaranteeing them a headshot. This one, you have at least a better percentage of them missing the headshot. Again, you know, never re-peek the spot, you know, come out. But you also move slower. Everybody knows this because it's supposed to be the stealth tactic, but you moving slower, it doesn't help you any, especially if you're like trying to get, you know, into cover or something. I don't know the situation. Although, in a lot of my videos, you can see me crouching, especially in a lot of gunfights. There's typically a reason for it, like looking out a window, looking out a doorway, looking from a top of a, I don't want to say fence line, but if you're up into bushes looking down, that's okay. There are times you should crouch. Not everyone, yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like, I do crouch a lot of the time, not majority, but maybe 25% of my time, because I don't know, maybe it's a habit or something from playing other FPS games, but typically, again, you don't want to crouch while in a gunfight, because you're going to give them a much, much more easier shot. You typically want to stay up. Sorry, especially if you're like out somewhere right here. God, that's such an easy kill for them. You can just, you know, stay up and move back and forth. Next one is when peeking, determine whether you should wide peek versus shallow peek. This is a very nuanced concept because it comes from other FPS games, let's say like CSGO or like Valorant. I don't play those games again, so I can only assume as to what they do, but I have heard a lot of people take it from those games. Essentially, a shallow peek. Let me backtrack really quickly on the crouching makes you an easy target and it makes you slower. The reason why I say it makes you slower is if, let's say, you're behind this and you're crouching, this movement speed is very slow. They're going to see you way before you see them because you're coming out. But if you're up, your movement speed is almost, 1.25 times that. So you're coming out very much quicker. So yeah, you don't want to like turn corners slowly. You think you're being stealthy and you think you're being quiet, but you're just you're not doing anything for yourself. If you're in a gunfight, that's if you're in a gunfight. If you're approaching somebody and they're looking like this way into the compound, of course you can crouch, and try to get the kill. But anyways, wide peak versus shallow peak. Should you come out, let's say somebody has the angle on you right down here, and for some weird reason, like let's say you're up against this fence, right? You can't peek. All right, this is actually a perfect example. So you're on this wall here, right? I'm trying to find that other one. I don't know where it went. So you're on this wall here. I'm gonna spend too much time looking for them. You're on this wall here, and they're peeking you from right up here, right? should you peek slow like this? But let's say they're aimed at you from this little section here. Oh my god. There we go. So they're aimed at you from right here. Should you continue that shallow peek? No. You shouldn't. If they've had a beat on you and every single time you've peeked this, they've hit you and you've had to go heal, and then you come back, then you've got to re-peek this same spot. No, you should not shallow peek that. That's doing yourself a disservice and you're giving them the easy kill. What you should be doing instead, if you find yourself in a situation like this, is get a wide peek. The hunt player base, their reaction time is not kind of godly like it would be for CSGO players or Valorant players, where as soon as they see 1 pixel of your shoulder, they've got you killed. So yeah, you instead of doing your shallow peek and coming out shallow, give it a wide peek. Of course, that's not a good example because of this, but give it a wide peek, because yes, they were looking here, but especially through a scope, you're pretty much gonna dash across their screen, and they're gonna have to readjust for that. But you, again, as you've seen my crosshair, my crosshair doesn't have to move. I'm straight up through this whole entire thing. I'm on the corner of that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Decide when you want to shallow peek versus wide peek. If you're playing off like a fence here and a tree, and you're behind like something this small, again, ADSing slows you down. Crouch walking slows you down tremendously. So yeah, should you wide peek instead of popping out this side if you're scared of them shooting you there, but you're also scared of them shooting you here? You could, I got caught on another tree. You could wide peek it. Come out very wide instead of just coming in shallow. Sometimes a shallow peek is very, very much more favorable, but again, I would decide whether or not I want to shallow versus wide peek. When does wide peek working in situations like this where you're on the very edge, come out very wide.